Hey guys, Julian here, just down at Bassendean, the Railway Heritage Museum. This today is a very special day. They've got the Steam in Action event, live steam, with the Greenmount Locomotive S class, one of the few remaining. It is the sister to the Locomotive at the East Perth terminal there, and it is S549. It was constructed by 1947 and it was withdrawn by last service on the 24th of December in 1971, where it was stored, and then by 1972 was written off. The last service was in Collie, and we'll be able to have a look at it in action very shortly. So we're just having a look at some of the static displays here. Oh, nice. So for the gold rush. Oh, great. So this is the gold rush from the Kalgoorlie. Yep. No. So this is 4,999 VY, and it's a bullion van. They use this to transport gold from the eastern goldfields to the Perth Mint, and it was a bullion van for 40 years, which is pretty good. Now, these steam locomotives kind of stopped operating on the Perth network from World War II, when the network was transitioned over to diesel locomotive power from the late 1970s to early 1980s, before we had electrification. So that steam train was a different train up ahead. We'll just have a quick look at that, and we'll come back down to have a look at the bullion vehicle. Now, very much so, the colour might be similar to Thomas the Tank Engine, but it's certainly not Thomas the Tank Engine. It is YX86 steam locomotive, and here is just some information of that. It started work in South Australia in 1888 after being built by a Peacock in England. It was one of many similar engines brought by the South Australian Railways, and it was in Donny River Timber Mill. It was used to transport timber back in its day, and it had a sister engine. There we go. Now, the train we will be seeing today is the sister of the Bakewell train, also an S-Class, which is on static display at the East Perth Public Transport Authority terminal building. So let's go and have a look at this Gold Rush train locomotive. Not locomotive, but the train carriage. Okay, there we go. So here's the bullion safe on the Coolgardie train here from Kalgoorlie. This is where they store the gold. And yep, so this van, VY4999, was restored with the assistance of the National Australia Bank and the Retired Employees Club of Western Australia. Now, we'll check out the working steam engine shortly, but we'll go through some of the trains that are on static display. So this is the bullion van, like I said. Here's some information. And it was used definitely by the during the Gold Rush era. Even had their own toilet here too. So it was a shower too, so that would have been used for the people transporting the gold, because it was an overnight journey from from Perth Mint to Kalgoorlie.
Welcome to the bullion bay. B1
Now here we go. Here is a signal box. This was used back when steam was in action, and that was for the old signals. And the signal box with levers controlling remote signals and points in 1860. They'd get note from the train, the telephone box there. The train his section, the signalman told the signal box operator on the approach side that his section was now clear and that he could, if required, accept another train. The messages between signal boxes were transmitted, giving early warning of signals to danger. And that is where they'll change the track crossovers manually, and it would show. This one was from Cannington, so fantastic. The old Cannington signal box, and Gosnells as well. So it would show you online and when it was cleared, just through the manual bit. So of course it's all automated now. Amazing, the history of our train network. Look at that steam colour light, which will be fully automated soon. So there we go, and we have a passenger car now getting around the city and sometimes the country. This is car 452, a Y452 suburban saloon carriage. Bit of information there, a bit more ritzy with the Westland to Kalgoorlie. And here we go, that was around Fremantle. Would have been around about the America's Cup era. There we go. Very nice. So, whoops, try not to slip over there. This is very interesting what it used to look like. Now, back in the day, air conditioning consisted of having the windows down. There wasn't any of this air conditioning like we have now. It was going over the Swan River Bridge, train going about 60 or 70 kilometres an hour. Mind you, it was back in mileage, and they would have the doors open. There we go. It's very interesting. And you also had luggage compartments too up the top, just these racks. And they would be coupled to a diesel locomotive. So this would have been the old Westrel colours, now known as the Public Transport Authority, because back before it became Public Transport Authority, it was West Rail. So changes occurred in the early 2000s. And now there are talks that the state government are wanting to purchase the privately owned railway freight network of the company that owns them, and put it back into public hands, which will make extending the passenger rail a lot more easier and more streamlined, but take a bit of time. Now here we go. Here is a example of the old signals up top. Wow, the MRWA E30 locomotive. This is where the drivers used to drive. Wow, not very small driver's seat. So imagine driving this for 8 or 9 hours at a time, and you've only got that fan, which back in the 80s and 70s, that was all you had for any form of air conditioning, not like the fans you get nowadays. So this was a diesel locomotive, one of the earliest examples, and you can see the view that you get out of there. It's very small windows too, and they'll get the air coming from this driver's door open, and from these small windows, which they should be opening, and the more workable displays probably in some later examples. That's the lever too. There we go, we've got some more signal examples and the displays of some steam engines and diesel. We do have the old level crossing boom gates. That was what it used to look like before they had replaced them for the electrified network of Perth. And that of course is diesel locomotive 1101 in the Westrail corporate livery. And we do have this beautiful steam engine just on static display. It's not working. It is R174 steam locomotive used in the mine rescue was used in. So have a read of that. You can pause the video anytime to have a look at it. Okay, so yeah, we'll continue on now. I was going to use the headphones, but so far it's doing pretty well with volume and audio. Now, oh yes, on this train here, this at the back here is where all the coal used to be stored and then fed into the engine just in the shaft there to keep the fire burning and to keep the steam locomotive going. Now, you see that big sort of boil here? That is where the heated water was, just to keep the engines cool.
Can't see this.
Ooh, nice.
The recent train has a building shower as well as a desk with hills right there.
Nice, nice. So yeah, I'll just have a quick look at this. Here's a dog box with toilets. Now this is going over the vintage train in Bunbury. It was frequently seen with the historic locomotive Lesgenaut lady. So that would have been the old bridge in Bunbury when they were still operating passenger services down to the actual Bunbury train station, which is now just used for the buses. This is JA6 compartment car. Yep, JA6 compartment car. There we go. So just pause the video anytime to have a look, have a read through. So beautiful. Back in the day, the timetables were like works of art, pieces of art. They'd put a lot of detail, attention into detail for the train timetables. So we continue on now, just here with Sam. And yep.
So they had tables because during the Great Depression they couldn't afford buffets, so they had tables. And these ones came with showers. They're recently trained.
Nice. So here's AGS22 shower car, and that's just a bit of a diagram of it. From buffet to bathing. Why are there tables and chairs in the shower car? So yeah, Very interesting. And that was the menu too. This was back between May 31st to June 3rd in 1968. Wow, amazing to think that like so much there. So let's go AGS 22. Let's go and have a look in.
That's when they used to write letters. This is what they used to have. This is what they used to eat.
Yeah, you want to take us through the tour? Yeah, just.
So this table's where they used to write the letters, because they used to write letters, and then this is where, because they couldn't afford to have a buffet during the Great Depression, so they had to switch it from a buffet to a table where they could eat and have drinks. And then down here is where they used to have their showers.
And it's very narrow too.
Yeah.
Very narrow.
So if they were going to the country, they needed to make sure that they were clean.
Yeah. So the plumbing on these train cars would have been really good.
Yeah. Back
then. No cheap jobs done, but yeah, it would have been quite affordable just to have multiple people just staying on the train. Would have been good revenue for them.
Yeah, because these trains were used for country roads when they were going to where, like, Georgetown or Albany or...
Oh, the sleeper cars, yeah.
And these were, because like the distance, they used to take a long time to go to the region, so they used to, that's why they used to have food and board as well as showers. Yeah.
Oh yes, I've heard about the country trains on the Georgetown, the old Georgetown service.
Over here's the kitchen.
Yep. Beautiful.
This is where they used to do all the. There's a kitchen and there's some little tables.
Whoa! Wow.
These are the old seats.
Incredible! I like the bar. Yeah. Wow, this back in the day would have been like their first class.
And look at the. Yeah, you can tell the difference, because back then they had the lower class and the upper class.
Oh.
And the lower class didn't get very good compartments compared to the high class.
Incredible.
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, you can have your birthday, yeah. Wow. Oh, sorry. That's amazing.
The seats. There's more seats on here where they used to sit as well.
Like 50s dining or something. Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
Like a diner.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it would have all been coupled up together, and just a little bit like the Australind. You'd have your dining area and your seating area. Ice water.
They had nursery, washrooms, toilets. These were the toilets that they had.
Got this little spot here.
The very first train that they built didn't have toilets, so they had to build another one.
Yeah,
and the shower cart, the very first shower cart train came with toilets.
So that would have been first class, and this is second class. Yep. Or the cattle class.
This is where the gentlemen's toilets.
Yep.
So these were the poor people, because if you couldn't afford the upper class one, this is where the lower class would go to hop on the train.
Never take what we've got for granted, guys, because back in the day, many years ago.
The was very narrow.
Yeah.
Small seats.
Thanks. Yeah, back in those days, when everything was in classes.
And this is where they would sleep. So they used to sleep on bunk beds.
This looks a bit like the dining car that they've got at Dome in.
Here's where the lower class sleep.
Bassendean.
So they had bunk beds as well. They put the suitcase.
So there's a bit of a multiple sitting and also sleeping. Like the beds would come down from the top.
Yep.
And you can smell the beautiful coal steam from the train out there.
And they've got a nice water machine here. And here's another toilet.
And these are the multiple. So you could sleep about 4 people easily in these compartments. 2 up top, 2 on the bottom.
So they had sinks here.
Oh, okay.
So there's a sink there.
Whoa. And that was a uniform for West Rail.
These were the glazed toilets back in the day. So this is what the glazed toilets used to look like.
Oh, okay.
from the pouring. Yep, glazed one.
Whoa.
They're called lavatory, but that's the glazed ones.
Beautiful. It's quite elegant.
And the sinks are really. Have you noticed how the sinks are really small? Like
Yeah.
now the sinks are really small.
Very narrow. So if you guys are just joining me for the first time, you're new to the channel, be sure to give us this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also request your bus routes and as well, and train journeys. So just follow the links on the bottom and join me on Instagram. Okay, so here we go. We have the 1001X 70 years of mainline diesels, Rail Heritage WA. This is the celebration of 1954 to 2024. They did have the diesel locomotives, the X class, this one. One of the earliest examples since the conversion from steam over to locomotive diesel. Yalagonga. Beautiful. It's an absolute beast. You can see the comparison compared to the diesel counterpart. This one's a lot bigger and wider. Wow. So pause the video anytime just to have a read if you want to read through it. So yeah, you can see the difference between its steam counterpart was what I was meant to say. Not this is obviously diesel, but as the later models of diesel come along, are introduced to the network, they shrink too, because the technology is able to bring smaller train engines, which are needed because there's more power in the larger locomotives. So
this train was built for the Queen's mother, and also and then the important officials.
Wow, so the royalty train, this is 413 Vice Regal car. This one was built especially, like Sam said, for the Queen and Queen Mother. So expected to be really,
And other government important officials.
yeah, expected to be very elegant inside in comparison to the public cars, rail cars.
This train took the Queen's mother to Bunbury.
Oh yes, it took the Queen Mother to Bunbury, and it's also done a trip to Dwellingup back in 1987 with two steam train locomotives, two-header, double header, and yep, there is the old Bunbury train station, probably. Oh no, actually no, that one's buffet stop at Rose Garden siding at Perth station. So wow, they would have done that up for the royal family there. So let's go and have a look, guys. Straight into the Regal car. Oh, the train is calling. Very narrow, but you can see the comparison here. They've really made it look like a living room, and a lot of back in those days this would have been just sort of very similar to what the modern day house would have been back then. So all the different colors, but we've certainly come a long way. It's stepping back in time, really. The light fittings as well, and that light up top, really ahead of its time, and the door. So very narrow, and they had to sacrifice a bit of narrow sacrificed a walkway in order to get more of the rooms in, make them bigger. So here is one of the bedrooms, and it's been fenced off so you can't go on the bed. And you've got the wardrobes and the window with the curtains. Just have a look from out here. And we'll continue on.
Then down here's where they used to...
Here we go. This is the ensuite by the looks of it. Single bedroom with another wardrobe. And whoa, fancy bathroom as well. The toilet, sink, and you've even got the bathtub. Now, this probably would have only been used for the one occasion, so
this room was used not just for the Queen Elizabeth's mother, but also for government officials.
Oh, government officials. Wow.
It was considered the royalty room.
But yet it looks so humble compared to today. And that's the crest as well.
Yeah.
Ho ho.
And here's a small kitchen.
Yep. Take us on the tour.
With a big fridge and a small kitchen.
Big fridge. I'll squeeze through. So, oh wow, Electrolux. That was back in the day when the fridges were really bulky.
Yeah.
And the kitchen, which was really, this is no bigger than what you'd find in a small apartment, 2-bedroom apartment in Perth. Well, the older ones, of course.
Yeah, it looks like
that's the pantry. I've got a bit of a... that's for the ventilation and the lights. So, and you got the old stove top and boiler.
That looks like there's another room there.
Another room?
Yep. Be careful.
Okay. Yep. And...
Careful.
Yep. Oh, thanks. Yep, so those are, of course, the windows. So the way the windows would work is you'd have the latch here, unlatch it, and you push it down and to get the wind to come in, breeze in, and you'll push it up and you'll lock it back in place. So it wasn't opening from that side or that side. You'll push down for the wind and push up to close it. And up here we've got the old station clock. Bit of history. That is the Perth Railway Station old clock. And it has believed to be installed on the veranda at Perth Railway Station around 1904 when the station underwent an upgrade. So beautiful. And it was replaced after repair in 1929. And it's just amazing. Just amazing. So, the inspector.
And the very first person that went on this carriage was Edward, Prince of Wales, in July 1920. Prince Edward.
There we go. That's a bit of the information, a bit of the history of the carriages.
So this guy, Prince Edward, was prince, but then he pretty much renounced being royal because he wanted to marry William Simpson, who back then was a lower class and he couldn't be with her. So he had to pretty much give up his title in order to be with her.
Oh wow!
And that's how Queen Elizabeth's father, the late Queen's father, became king. Yep.
Very interesting.
Have you ever watched the King's Speech? That's about the Queen's father, because he used to stutter. So it's about how he would get the confidence to be able to talk. Yeah.
Now, if you were walking around Perth City back many years ago, you would have come across one of these quirky boxes, the telephone box, a bit like the old TARDIS and the blue telephone boxes of London. And yeah, that's pretty much what the telephones used to look like, the public telephone box. A lot different, I think a lot more elegant too, compared to the orange telephone boxes, Telstra boxes we've got nowadays. Okay, we continue on. So we'll go and take a look. So this one is just part of the end trailing car. Yep. So now we're on to the AGM 292 sleeping carriage. So that's a bit of the information.
So this was the second. So this was going as a lower class, the second class. You know, the middle class, what we call today. They call them second class. We call them middle class people.
Oh,
that was their train. But they would run.
Oh, and they had some fire damage too. Back in 1987. But wow, they brought it back to life, into working order. So here we go, second class.
Second class train.
Second class
so these
train.
were the trains that the people couldn't, if they couldn't afford the if they couldn't afford the better train, they had to go on this one.
Oh yeah.
Because only the high class got the very best. So this were considered the poor people.
Yeah.
So this is what the second class train looked like. They had no bait, like no conductors, not even toilets. And these were, as you can tell, that the beds were not the best, but they were for people who were poor.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't afford much. More like in the middle.
Yeah. At least it was something better than nothing.
Yeah. But even then, they were humble back then.
Yeah.
They appreciated what they got. As you see, a lot of them had to climb up to get to the bunk beds.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And only the rich got to have the very best of everything, like how it is today.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed really.
No.
As you can tell, these were the gentlemen's toilets and sinks. They had ice water cups.
Ice water cups. That's
Yep.
pretty
Just
generous.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Oh, okay. Thank you. So, there we go. Here is... Oh, wow. We've got the steam engine. And this is the WA's only electric locomotive. So, yep. Pause the video anytime to just have a read through this. So, this electric locomotive, early century one, was built by Vickers Electrical Company in Manchester, UK, and it was powered by four 150 HP or 112 kilowatt motors. Horsepower, 150 horsepower motors, and it weighed 43.5 ton, and it received its power just 600 volts of DC through the pantograph, just like the modern day electric trains, and it had this canteries. So it's proof to say that we had electric power all the way back in early 1960s, I'd say. So up the top, the cantery just there is exactly like what you've got, but it was bigger than our B series, A series and C series counterparts, which obviously run on 20 volt power. That's really fascinating. I did not know that we had Had it. So here we go, guys. We have set the S-Class S549, just coming back, doing some shunting in the yard. Get a better look. So they're just going up and down, having passengers in the cab. We will have a little ride on the cab shortly. There we go. Amazing. And there it goes. Amazing steam power. The smell of coal, burning coal, is just something that you'd never experience at all in Perth, so it's really cool. But it used to be, to think that many years ago it was such a prominent thing, like you go into the city to do your shopping and you'd catch a steam train there. It'd be as common as our modern day electric trains. So there we go. Diesel electric locomotive Y1101. And here we go, we have AG14, the bogie passenger car, or boogie, and it arrived in Fremantle way back in 1885 on the SS Glenmorven. And the WA population was still quite small. It was one of the first carriages put together here. And you can see some of the differences between the first class and second class sections. So here we go, let's go and have a sticky beak. Wow, so looks pretty cool in here. A bit like the benches are similar to what you get on the Bennetbrook Railway. And yeah, the floorboards are quite sturdy as well. Again, the windows just pull down to get some of that beautiful wind, sea breeze, the Freo Doctor, and that was when it was restored. And yep, it's quite small indeed, but it fit its purpose, because back then the West Australian population was not very big. AG14, and yep, that's the badge. It was built in Birmingham as well. And here's the engine, WA Government Railways. And wow, that was also where the coal was kept. And those were the size of the windows at the time, from drivers to drive, and the gauges, and that was where the fire went, where it was fed. And this train was called Katie as well, number 1. Built in Newcastle on Tyne in 1880, number 2391, by R.T. Stevenson and Company. That's wow. All stations to Guildford. And here are all the parts too. That's look at the craftsmanship of the train this side. Beautiful. Nice. Wow. Wowee, look at this. Lego built train.
This is where you can eat in here.
Wow.
This is known as the dining train.
And this is where you can
So this train used to go across the Nullarbor.
cross the Nullarbor, Trans-Australian across the Nullarbor. This is D20 dining car. So just have a bit of a squiz.
Where you can have afternoon tea.
Oh, and we can also have afternoon tea today. Just for $8. Free coffee, a tea, and a cake. Here's the train. So they're just stabilising all the trains. Beautiful. Here we go. This is AV425. It's a 1918 built dining car. So beautiful. Don't know if you can see it on the screen, but yeah, just pause again to have a proper read. And
But
here
it
we
doesn't
go.
matter how long it goes for, as long as it's good content.
Yeah, and this was built by the West Australian Government Railway Builders in 1919 at Midland Junction. Yes, so we're going up to the dining car.
This is the very first dining car that was used for the politicians.
Oh, nice. Check out this. This is very fancy. And beautiful attention to detail.
It has cups and plates.
Wow.
In the fire sink.
These would have been hauled by the steam locomotives. So it's very beautiful. Seeing the old cups and saucers, plates. Amazing. And we have 308 locomotive just connected to it. And yeah, we've got this bit section here. Here we go, 308. This is a steam locomotive that's coupled to that dining car, and it is in static.
There's the wheel, there's the chair where they used to sit.
So we have the chair wheel, and that is the big engine. Coal. There we go, amazing. And that's where the coal was, on that side there. And this is PM 701, the class leader. And it was really short, they were desperately short of locomotives. Now it was used around Northam and Williams, that's where this photo, in Williams. And it was seen at the Northam Locomotive Shed back in its working day. And there we go. There we go. Pause video. Any time to just have a read. And that's what the 701 PM looks like from the outside. It is a beast. Check out the the wheels on this, I'd imagine that the rails would have really been worn down by these steam locomotives. And you've got the boiler up top. Now, these trains, if they had them restored, they could probably get them back into working order. And we also have ES 308 that we just had a look at before. That's just its front. See? And the wheels are a little bit smaller. And this one is the beast. Let's go and have a look.
Very big engine.
There we go. Check out the gauges, guys. And also the fire bit. This would open up and they'd just pop the coals in to keep that fire fed, to provide power to the axles with the wheels. Now, windows, it would have been really hot in this compartment. You see the drivers, like in videos, movies and that, driving steam trains would be sweating. They'd be really sooty because all that soot would be coming from the engine with coal. So they'd, yeah, it was definitely a dirty job indeed. Yeah, auxiliary switch box, and that was the window too. And if it was wet, it was wet. They used to sit down on this seat here and yeah, stick their head out just to see what's going on. And here was where the coal was stored. And then they would just get the coal, probably have someone shoveling the coal across, or they'll just get it from here, that bit there. Yeah, so they'd get it, open up this compartment, and the driver would, or one of his not linemen, but one of his men that would be assisting would be shoveling and straight into the fire to keep it going, to stop it from going out. There we go, we've got steam, guys. The railway crossing. So let's go and have a look. Then we've got the railway, little miniature trains, model trains, and the Greenmount. Okay, now on to V1220, the end of steam. This one. Wow. Oh, nice. I'll get that. Get that for sure. Yep, so pause the video if you want to have a look, read through this little information. And this is how the modern steam engine works. Bit of a diagram to it. So there we go. This is V1220. Beautiful. Yeah, you can check out the engine as well. Huge. And there we go, that is there, so we won't have a look in there. Okay, and this is the decommissioned electronic signal interlocking system that was used in regional Western Australia. It was installed in Mount Newman Mining Company by at the one body 25 turnout in 1988. It was later recycled to become the Homestead siding north, and it was decommissioned in 2018, which was 30 years later from when it first started, and it was fault free too, so very interesting. And this is DD 592 tank locomotive. Okay, and that's what it looks like. DD 592. We also have PR 521 Ashburton steam locomotive. Which is this one here, Ashburton. Absolute beauty. And we have the little Thomas train as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's give this a bit of a go. Pretty cool. So there we go, we've got 508 here. And that's just the controls up there for 508. There we go, we have the oil burning U655 train, and it was to WA instead of North Africa. Wow, 14 oil burning steam locomotives that were to be sent to North Africa for service during World War II were instead purchased in 1946 by the WA Government Railways from the British Ministry of Munitions. I think that's how you say it, but the E-Class hauls the Australind through Claysbrook. So back in the day, the Claysbrook was not a rail car like it is now, but it was rather a steam locomotive. This is an early example. Steam locomotive hauling the passenger cars, which were the Australind back then. So yeah, just a pause video here if you would like to have a read through this information. And here is the beautiful train in a prime U655, which used to haul the Australind rail carriages. And yeah, she's just parked up here for static display only, and that's just the chair and all the driver console, basic, or driver levers to operate up. And up there is where the coal was stored as well. Now we move on to FS 460 steam locomotive, and we have it as seen here. It's a sister FS 460 is a sister and a sister FS rather lead the morning shunt train out of Collie bound for Muja powerhouse. So they played a crucial part in transporting coal for the power station over in Collie, and it was a double header. So they often had, for the larger loads, they would have two trains shunting or pulling just to help, and they would often put them either same front, or this one in this case is front and facing the other way. So just provided that extra haulage power to get the load going through smoothly. So just pause the video again to have a read for more information. There we go, FS 460 at the front, and oh, it's another big train, this one. Very good condition, although it's rusted a little bit, but it's okay. They can easily restore this train if they wanted to put it back into operation, like we see with 549 S-Class Greenmount. This is the driver's cab, of course, with all the controls, seat, and subfloor. And again, that is where the coal is stored, and you have a water tank again, yeah, just up the front there. Is 655 just from this side. Oh, look at those pistons, beautiful. And here we go. It's starting to rain a little bit, guys, so here we go. Pause video again if you'd like to have a read through. There we go. Wow, look at that scene. Sorry about the noise, guys. Beautiful. So we have the BAS 511 to WSJ 30553 ballast hopper. So just help with the ballast. There we go. Beautiful. Wow, very noisy train up ahead. There we go. Let's go and watch this through.
Hey guys, we're watching the station again.
It is the Greenmount. Beautiful. So just running it up and down today as part of the steam in action. And here we go, we've got the GM1 standard gauge diesel. Here we go. Here's the train coming back. The Greenmount, this is S-Class 579, or 549 rather. Not all good. And here we are, we have Xanthus, a typical trans-Australian railway station. This was promised to link up the west to the east across the Nullarbor. So, yep, have a look at that in more detail. You can pause anytime, like throughout the video, at these signposts. And here's Xanthus station. As seen here on display. There we go, we have the Lakeview and Star Steam locomotive. And that's what the train looks like on display here. Very beautiful. I've since given it a nice paint of coat of paint, sorry, paint of coat. And runs off steam as well. And these are the driver's cabin here with all the levers that operate the train, and that is just the tail end of it that it would haul. Okay guys, thank you for joining me on the channel. I'm here with Lawrence.
Hello.
And Sam.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today here at the Railway Museum, the Heritage Railway Museum of Western Australia. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, join me on Instagram, and also fill out the bus route and train journey video request forms. Until next time, happy transporting. Bye for now.